Okay, I have to film this video because the last 18 months finally makes sense. The last 18 months has been tough for the market that I'm in, or have been in, and I've finally made sense of it. I've done a lot of research, I've spoke to a lot of different people, and I've managed to zoom out my business. Everything's good now. It is on the up, which is amazing. But it got me thinking, and after a few conversations this week with clients, I realised that they were still in the same headspace, and I want to get them out of that headspace. I don't know about you, but it's been a challenging time. AI is here. There is a lot of change. There's another pending war happening across the globe. Everything's just crazy right now, and I think I want to try and make sense of everything for your business. And so here's typically what you or most other business owners will be sitting thinking today, a new month, a new quarter, going into it. You'll probably think that you have a mindset problem. You don't. You have a strategy problem. You don't. You have an ads problem. You don't. You have a content problem. You don't. You have a time problem. You don't. You have an XYZ WBCD problem. You don't. Here's the type of problem I think you have. I'm going to go over the laptop, and man, I'm excited for this. Finally, the last 18 months has made sense. So let me get set up here. If you watch this video all the way through, you're going to be very, very grateful, if I don't say so myself. But I need you to watch it all the way through because I truly do think this will, number one, put your mind at ease. If you've been struggling the last little while, if things aren't the same as they used to be pre-COVID, during COVID, and now, if you're struggling to get leads, if you're struggling to grow your revenue, if you've been plateauing for quite a long time, this is the video that you need to watch all the way through. So let me just set up here on the laptop, and I'm going to show you this diagram here that I think will be very, very useful for you. So if you don't have a mindset problem, if you don't have a ads problem, a sales problem, an advertising problem, a marketing problem, what kind of problem do you have? Well, this is the type of problem I think you have. You have what I call an opportunity problem. Now, by the way, you will notice straight away here that this is not some crazy sales pitch. This is just me literally finally digesting my thoughts from the last 18 months and putting it down here. And I think this is so relatable to so many. So let me tell you how I come up with this video. So I've been a personal trainer, online coach, gym owner, and then I created the Upgraded Coach, which is a kind of mentorship for coaches, personal trainers. And it was great. You know, kind of went very, very well. Then I transitioned, created the MRR agency because I knew we had to have something that was different from these other mentorships. And I actually done a previous video on this where there is a lot of bottom feeders in the industry now in the fitness mentorship space. And it is a terrible idea to become a fitness mentor right now. Probably it's been a terrible idea for the last 12 months to start to become a fitness mentor. Terrible idea, shocking. You will fight for the scraps. There's people like me and even higher who are spending 100, 200, 300 pound a day on ads. You will get swallowed whole, right? You might have a little surge when you take some PTs and coaches on, but they'll be 2, 3, 4K, 5K, 6K, less than 10K a month coaches. Their businesses will be incredibly volatile. And therefore, the businesses that you serve, the success of your business and the stability of your business is predicated on the customer's stability that you're serving. So, in other words, if they're unstable, if they find it very, very difficult to grow their business, then so will you. So anyway, I say all that to say that I realised this and I thought, okay, I need to change things. And then when I assessed stuff, I realised I was actually in the wrong opportunity. It was time for me to grow and develop. So that's my context for me. I want to make this about you here. So I'm going to fly through this quite quick so that you can take it. Again, if you want this bold that I'm sharing here, then just message me on Instagram and I'll send it. So let's look at this here. Are you in the wrong opportunity? Right? This is a diagnostic framework for business owners who are stuck, stagnating, or declining, right? If you're flying and you're miles away and it's the best thing ever happening to you right now, then you don't really need to watch this. You're doing amazing. Carry on with your day. So coming down here, if your revenue is flat or declining, but you're working harder than ever before, if your ad costs keep rising and the same funnel that you've ran before is now costing you 3 to 6 times more to run and to use, if clients are churning faster than ever before and the transformation or the result focus that you've always led with isn't landing, you're competing on price and the market has commoditized your offer. And I just want to zoom out a wee second here. And this is not because you're bad at this. but it's because the opportunity itself may have changed right underneath you. This is not a strategy problem, it's an opportunity problem, okay? I want to reiterate that. So we come down here. Frame number one is the game has changed. I do not care what industry you're in, the game has fundamentally changed. The tools that are available to people these days, the resources that are available, the clients, what they want, you name it, everything has changed. Right? And most business owners haven't. When you think about this, think about the last time you overhauled who you serve, how you deliver to people. Think about that. It's probably been 2 years plus. And I see coaches who are shouting at the algorithm and blaming, oh, it's just about content creation now. The truth is, it is, and it's not great. But the fact is you haven't developed, you haven't changed anything. You still talk the same, you still present your offer the same. It's like the game has changed and you either change with it or you will be out of the game. That's it, right? Would it be great if we were all, like for coaching example, would it be great if the world just rewarded you on how great a coach you were? Absolutely. But the world doesn't work like that. That's why we see all of this biggest scams and sleazy whatever that's out there, because they're able to convince people otherwise. Now, obviously we don't apply that tactic. You don't want to do that. However, you need to still play the game of what people need, how it evolves, the vehicle you're using, and ultimately the opportunity that you're in. So I go back to 2020 now. You can relate what 2020 was like for your market, but 2020 it was quite easy to get leads. I used to just post transformations and I'd get clients inquiring. Like honestly, 6 to 7, 8 inquiries a week at least by just posting a client transformation picture. Running ads was like £3 cost per lead. Everyone was winning. I signed up 24 coaches in 22 days of launching the Upgraded Coach. £1,000 program, just organically, just because I'd run a gym and people were like, yep, I'm interested in that. And then we moved to 2022. This is where the saturation truly started. This is where it began. You know, things like community groups and stuff like that just didn't exist. And all of a sudden, if you had a community group in school or whatever, it was like, oh, wow, this looks amazing. This is different. Now, people don't want to join your school group. If they do, they're just gathering internet dust and they probably aren't ideal fits. But this is where the saturation began. And this is where the cost per lead started rising. And this is also where the copycats and the charlatans started to flood in. And then we moved to 2024. This is where the AI disruption really hit home. At first, it was sort of just ChatGPT where you could search things. You know, I'm being generous here by like saying that clients are skeptical, but the old funnels, the DMs, the content strategies, they stopped working like they used to. You used to be able to put an Instagram story up with a couple of slides and then tap the sticker, boom, you'd get all this reach. Now you're lucky if like 5% of your followers actually see a story, let alone click on it. And then we go to now, it's almost like this adapt or die, like are you adapting or dying attitude? Now you might not want to apply it like that, but it's changing rapidly and you have to change. You might not die, it might be a bit of a scaremongering statement, which I don't want to be, pushing here, but the window's closing for opportunity. And I mean, the window will always be open in terms of business, but in terms of the opportunity that you're in right now, again, I've always served fitness coaches, so this is very easy to look at. A couple of years back, not many people were doing online coaching. Now everybody's an online coach, and it's very difficult compared to what it used to be like. And yet these online coaches are sitting there going, oh, COVID used to be amazing, now it's hard, and they're dragging their heels, and they're just not changing. They're in the wrong opportunity. I'm not saying online coaching is a bad business model now. I'm saying you have to change what you're doing. And I'll go into that here. So let's look at this here. AI and automation, of course, is, let's not talk about, it's not even the elephant in the room. This is the main thing that we all need to talk about. AI and automation. Delivery has been automated at a fraction of the cost. So even like we have a done for you offer that used to be very, very impressive. Now it's like, okay, done for you, and they barely bat an eyelid, which is crazy because done for you is like, it takes a lot of work still. But AI automation, businesses are still paying for what AI now does for free. Think about that. Like, I had an app that I was paying £299 for to build out frameworks and stuff like that for me. And I just do it myself now in Claude Code for free. Wild, right? And this is obviously the same for staffing, by the way. Virtual assistants doing work on Canva and things like that when you can just get AI to do it. Fraction of the time, no cost. Clients have changed, and this is a big one that we'll notice in every industry. Like clients have definitely changed across the board. Buyers are more skeptical, they're more price sensitive, they're lazier, and they demand more. Genuinely, like we used to have all the amazing trainings, 1 hour long, all the frameworks and stuff. Now people are just like, I've got ADHD, I'm tired, I'm busy, I want things to appear in front of me yesterday. And again, do we want people like that? Well, if the majority of the population's thinking and acting like that, what do you want to do? We'd rather be rich than be right. So we have to adapt to it. The old transformation promise no longer converts. Now this is across industry wide, like not just this industry, but across the board. Like the old just, we'll get you this and we'll do this for you. It used to be brilliant. It doesn't work as well as it used to. And then here, competitive landscape. So saturation and one-to-one coaching and group programs. So like I remember I was part of a mentorship years ago where there was like 400 people in the mentorship program, but you didn't know any different. And I was a bit of an outlier in it. Like I'm sure another 3% of the people were, where you don't care. You just do the work, you listen, and you'll make it work, which doesn't work for everybody, obviously. But the competitive landscape is massive now. Like I was one of the few UK fitness business coaches kind of when I started. There was probably 10 or 12. Now there's about 30, and most of them aren't even making the same money as their clients. Like then you've got consultants and all this sort of stuff. Like they're not competition, but there's still the competitive landscape. It's still the potential for someone to buy from them instead of you. So the commoditized offers are fighting on price. 2020 playbooks in a 2025 market. And you see this competitive landscape by everybody just calling each other out. You see all the dweebs that call each other out, like, you know, just it's funny, right? Seeing the fitness mentor space, some of their main marketing is to say we're different from other mentors. Can you imagine that was your marketing? Can you imagine that? Anyway, hard truth. So businesses are still growing, are not working harder. Well, what are they doing? They've moved on. They questioned the opportunity and then they acted on that, on the decisive, like what they're going to do different, right? And here's a nostalgia trap that you see, and I need you to focus on this part here, right? Because see if I see one more business telling me that, oh, we used to do this and this used to happen, move on with the times, right? Move on. So here's what people keep saying. We used to get leads for £3. That funnel used to work perfectly. We just need more volume, or we need more leads. We need to go back to what worked in the past. You cannot drive forward by staring in the rear view mirror, right? Here's what it actually means when you say this stuff. So we used to get leads for £3. The market has repriced your offer. The market is telling you that I am not going to click on that for £3 anymore. The funnel used to work perfectly. Consumer behavior has changed, not just the funnel. How people click on things. You see a lot of gurus out there now, it's going like, don't take sales calls, it's a waste of your time, just send them a doc. And it's like, well, why? It's like, well, there's a lot of people who now just can smell it a mile away. Or book a discovery call. Years ago when that first came out, people were like, oh, that sounds amazing, I'll book a discovery call. No one's ever called it a sales call, have they? To the prospect. We just need more volume. Volume does not fix a broken vehicle. We need to go back to what worked. You're benchmarking against people who are already stuck. Right. I had another example of this. I spoke to a business the other day and they were like, yeah, there's this gym down there that they do this and it's worked for them for years and stuff. It's like, you have no context on their situation. And then once we dug in deeper, it was like, yeah, they have like a multi-millionaire who backs them. It's like, exactly. You know, it's like, I run ads at like between £100 and £200 a day for the funnel when I get it live, a proper funnel. And it's like, I see people and then like about a week later, these fitness business coaches are just copying my ads. It's like, and I know they've got about 12 clients or they're making nowhere near the money I'm making. And it's like, do you know what? Like, do you know how much I spend with that funnel? Like I will outspend you and you're just copying for the sake, you don't have the context or the data to back it up. So have you ever, genuine question here, have you ever stopped to question the opportunity that you're in? Put aside your mind for a minute. I'm not saying that you need to not be a coach anymore. I'm not saying that you need to not run your marketing agency anymore, your consultancy, your whatever you're running. I'm not saying you have to change that. I'm just saying to you, have you ever just stopped and went, what if I just need to change what I'm doing here? Like, what if I just need to actually really rip everything apart here? From the target market, what you offer, how you deliver, how you come across. When was the last time you done any of that? Because if you've been saying for the last 4 years that you're stuck and not grown like you used to, it's the definition of insanity, right? So don't look at your lead flow, don't look at the strategy, don't look at the funnel, think of the opportunity here. So here's the opportunity audit. Of course, I'm going to make this practical and tactical for you. Here's the question. Is the market growing or shrinking? Now, I'll give you a perfect example of this question where you need to be careful, right? The fitness industry is growing year on year. Does that mean that it's a good time to be a fitness mentor? No, it doesn't. The fitness industry is growing year on year. Does that mean it's a good time to bring out a fitness business, a fitness clothing brand? I don't know. You tell me. Do the research. And so you have to sit with this for a minute and go, right, is this market growing or shrinking? The market that you're currently serving, is it growing or shrinking? You know, you take like, there's a lot of local based businesses right now who are opening and all these different things, and it's like, you do realise that market is shrinking right now. Why are you entering into a market that is shrinking? So I meant to mention this very quickly is I want you to answer these questions as an investor looking at it cold, right? take all your emotion out of this and just go in and look at it from a point of view of it, like being an investor, right? So here's a green signal. There's clear demand growth. New entrants are succeeding. Very quickly, it's like personal trainers. Like most personal trainers are like, they go out of business within, like 90% go out of business within like 3 years. 90%. Is it a good idea to become a personal trainer? Well, it could be. It could be, but you're going to have to really, really do your research, and you're going to have an absolute plan with it, because the stats are stacked against you, right? Red signal. If there's a declining cost per lead, if there's increasing churn, if there's fewer referrals, so this is your business right now. If you're having to spend more for cost per lead, if you're getting a lot of churn, if you're hardly getting any referrals, it's probably a sign. The next question is, are your best clients getting the result that they came for? Really sit with this, and this is something you've got to be honest with, is are your best clients getting the result they came for? So again, we've got a mix of clients, and there are some clients who have left us because they genuinely weren't getting the result they came for. Why? Because they haven't adapted. They haven't changed. They're now no longer getting result because they're living in the past. And a green signal with this is you've got strong retention after doing price rises. You've got high referral rate, and you've got genuine transformation that's happening in front of your eyes. A red signal here is you get a lot of churn within the 60 to 90 day mark. Your results are dependent on a vanishing client type. Next question, can you still win on position, or is it a race to the bottom? Now this is perfect example of fitness mentorships right now. They can't win on positioning. Do you know, this is why I told you their positioning is this. We're better than those mentors. We don't get you to sell up front. We don't get you to do DMs. We talk to you one-on-one. We're this, we're that. And that's their positioning. Their positioning is against mentorships, and they're saying they're different, but they keep mentioning them every 2 seconds. Like, you're trying to say you're better than something that's, so you're just positioning yourself next to them. Whereas I'm an MRR agency, like we're well gone. Like, we've got coaches and gym owners and stuff, but we're out the fitness industry. We're going bigger. We positioned ourselves different, the MRR agency, and then a lot started copying. But fundamentally, I've realised my opportunity that I'm in, no matter if I position myself differently, I was in the wrong opportunity. It's a race to the bottom right now. Some of these mentors are charging the same as an online coach would charge for coaching. It's mental. So then if you're a fitness mentor right now watching this, like, do you have clear differentiation? Oh, I do one-to-one calls and not groups. That's not clear differentiation. Do you have category ownership? Do you own a category? I own MRR. Do you have premium pricing? Can you hold that premium pricing? If you're charging for mentorship and you're less than like £600 a month, then you're not charging for mentorship. You're a side hustle. Red signal. So competing on price, you're discounting to close. Same messaging as 10 others. Like, there's a couple of fitness mentors, I'm like, do you share a business? Because you're saying the exact same stuff. And then number 4 is your fulfillment scalable with the margins that you need? You really need to think about that. Like, can you actually scale your fulfillment and actually be profitable? People do this, they go, I'm a one-to-one consultant, I'm a one-to-one mentor. And it's like, you do realise you're charging like £400 a month and you've got 20 people and you do 20 calls a week. Like, that's not scalable. Oh, but I don't want a big business. You shouldn't be competing with the big dogs then, because you're going to get 20 victims in front of you, and you may as well just do coaching because you're dealing with people's livelihood here. So a good signal for this is your delivery cost reduces as your volume grows. More clients equals more hours, more staff, more costs, which is of course a red signal for your opportunity you're in. Does your current model make sense with AI in the room? And this is what people are avoiding. Does your current business model make sense with AI in the room? Think on that. And a green signal for this is that AI is enhancing your delivery. It reduces cost to serve. So AI is making it much cheaper for you to deliver on your service, increasing your profit margins. If you're manually delivering with what AI now does. So if you're manually delivering every single process for your clients, you will get squashed by someone doing it individually themselves. Last one, if you were starting today, would you build this exact business? By the way, this question took me by surprise, right? I actually got this question, from Daniel Priestley, and he says, if you were starting your business tomorrow, how would you start it, restart it? And I was thinking about the MRR agency, and I was like, well, I'd probably fix that, and I would probably make that faster. And I was like, okay, I'm not restarting it tomorrow. I can actually do that right now. And that's what helped us turn the MRR agency into a far more efficient, far more profitable business. And also, it really got me thinking, would I keep serving gym owners and PTs? It's like, no, I'll serve the ones I've got, take more if they're the right fit, and then branch out to other niches as well. So if the answer is yes, this market, the model and the positioning, like, would you start it tomorrow? And the answer is yes, like this exact market you're targeting and the position you've got, go for it. And no, you would build it differently. Guess what? It's time to build it differently. So here's how to score it. 0 to 2, right? This is where you pivot, right? If you've scored this, so these are the scores, 6 questions, answer them honestly. There's a little note here telling you how to score it. Score 1 per green, 0 per red, and total out of 6. Just be honest. So just score them. If you got a green, 1, you got a red, so on. So if you're 0 to 2, you need to pivot. Seriously, you need to pivot. Continuing to push is costing you more than starting over. This is not a failure, this is information. The question isn't whether to change it, it's how fast are you going to change this. Next is evolve between 3 and 4. Your opportunity has a window, not a wall. The model, sounds like the song there, from the window to the wall. The model needs updating, not replacing. Identify the 2 to 3 things pulling the score down, positioning shift, delivery upgrade, and or an AI layer that you need. Optimise. Your opportunity is sound. The gap is execution, not direction. So double down on what's working and systematize it. The focus is speed and scale, not change. So most business owners land between 2 and 4. The evolve zone is where the work happens. So what evolution actually looks like. These aren't hypothetical, by the way. These are the moves being made right now. So I want to kind of show you how I've done it. So number 1, the positioning pivot. Stop competing in a saturated lane. Own a specific problem for a specific person, right? So I went from general mentorship to the only ads agency built exclusively for fitness businesses with MRR systems baked in. Now I'm positioning advertising with AI infrastructure. Offer evolution, so rebuild the core offer around MRR logic and AI enhanced delivery. So for me, that was from one-off ad campaigns and retainers to Fitness Ads AI, a SaaS product that delivers the same output at scale with no human delivery and cost per client. And then step 3, the business model shift. So step back from fulfillment, move into a leverage model where systems do a lot of the delivery. So I went from running client campaigns inside the MRR agency to building AI as an infrastructure layer that other businesses, including my clients, can now plug into. I made all 3 of these moves, not at once, but in sequence. And the sequence is everything here. So here's your next move. You know which zone you're in. The question is, what do you do with that information? Optimize the path, so tighten your systems, increase your speed. No wholesale change needed. Focus on 2 things that will move your score from 5 to 6. The evolve path. You need a guide. The moves are clear, but the sequencing is where most people get it wrong. So you've got all these ideas, you just don't know how to put it in a sequence that makes sense. Because again, you don't want to rock the boat too much and end up losing money and things like that. This is what we do with clients, is the evolve path. And then the pivot path. This is the hardest decision and the most important one. Speed of change is your biggest advantage. You do not have to figure this out alone. Okay, so if you're in the evolve or pivot zone and you want me to walk you through it, message me on Instagram and I can take you through this whole pivot. I would love to see your answers to this. There's so many people who watch this and it will just gather internet dust, but I would really love to see your answers to it, because if you're sitting there kind of unfulfilled by your business, you're just fed up always chasing it, like you're always just like, is this ever going to end? There's a good chance you're in the wrong vehicle. There's a good chance you're in the wrong opportunity. I knew this when I was a PT and I had to switch. Did I go away and do another thing? No. I got my own gym. Then as a gym owner, I was like, man, I'm in the wrong opportunity here. That's when I helped with business. I moved to B2B. Then I moved to the agency from mentorship. Now I'm in AI infrastructure and positioning advertising and stuff. So, but every time you do it, man, it's like, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of bravery. So I'd love to guide you through it if that's the position you're in right now. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Appreciate it. I spoke fast. That was a lot. Personally, I'm very proud of this. I think this could be the big thing that changes a lot of people's perspective. And ultimately, it means it's worth it for me and it's worked. See you in the next video.